So here we're working on a 1998 Ford Ranger, and we're doing a combination of things. The head gasket seemed to be leaking, and we wanted to replace the head gaskets. And since we've got this kind of all tore apart, we also want to replace the water pump and the timing chain, which is back behind the water pump here. We're also going to put in like a new thermostat and just a bunch of new seals. But I'm going to show you what we're doing to get the water pump assembly off and back to that timing chain. In order to really get at all of that, we're going to have to remove the fan. From what I understand, this is a left-hand thread on the fan here. So we'll get that spun off. And then we got to pull off this fan cover just so we have more space. There's just two bolts, one here and one right here. And once we have that off, I think we can actually pull this cover. Obviously, if you're starting with everything else still installed, you'll have to remove the AC pump, or at least unbolt the bracket and get it kind of pushed up, and the power steering pump and the intake, all of that stuff we already have off. So once you get it kind of down to this point, you don't obviously have to pull the heads in order to do this part, but ours are pulled. So they actually make a special puller for pulling this pulley. I did not have access to it, so I just used a regular pulley puller, pushing on the bolt after the bolt had been taken out and then threaded back in like halfway. It was not simple, and I would recommend getting the correct tool. So that crank pulley was a pain in the butt. I mean, shouldn't say that, everybody would say. That crank pulley was very difficult to remove, but we did eventually get it. One of these bolts was giving us a horrible time, felt like it was going to break off when we were running in and out. So we ended up leaving this installed. But it would have been much nicer to use one of those special pullers compared to what we did with those. There's a look at the water pump with all of its fasteners and where they're located. Mostly 8 millimeters, and what are the bigger ones on here? I think 13. They were 13. And then once you get the crank pulley pulled, there's two that come up from the oil pan. Try hitting over here, right here. Okay, hold it. Stop for a second. There's the timing chain. You can hit on this nubbin right here. Because we do have to reuse this piece. Oh, that is bad looking in there. So here's the new timing chain and gears. Here is the existing. See, there's a mark right there and a mark right there. And as you can see, there's plenty of slop in here, so it is time to replace that. So we'll just buzz this nut off, slide it out, and then slide the new one on. And we just don't, of course, we just don't want to move anything while it's off of there. But there are these like keyways on here, so it'd be kind of hard to mess it up actually, which is nice. So 15 millimeter, we stuck a screwdriver in through that hole to hold it in place, and then I went ahead and loosened it. Timing mark, timing mark. So now we should be able to just run this out. Oh look, it's one of those bolts that has a hole in it, so the engine oil gets pumped through the bolt to lubricate that shaft. Here, hold the camera. So it's an important one. You can't just put a random bolt in there. And then should be able to just slide this whole piece off. Oh, freaky. Oh, there is a keyway. I was like, there's no keyway on that one? There's the original one. While that's off of there, I think we will carefully just wipe that back surface in case there's any like engine sludge. I don't really see any. I don't think we got much debris back there while we were cleaning the gasket. So here's a new one. Timing mark. Timing mark. Those are both in line. Alright, so it does seem like it goes on smoothly now. Alright, so we got the new one on. You can see the timing mark. And the timing mark. Looks good to me. And after that same tap test, yeah, that looks a lot better. So I think that's going to be good. We just got to actually torque this down to the right specification. We torqued it to 49 foot-pounds. The range was 40 to 51. So we're right in the range. And then we put gasket maker on there. Bring the half gasket. We will be replacing the oil pan gasket later on in the future, but for now we're just going to proceed even though we don't have the right gasket for there. Yep, so there's a couple of locate pins. One right here. And one right here. And I'm just going to actually apply a gasket maker to the face of this gasket, and then we'll bring over the other piece. So we pushed the old seal out from the back with a punch, and then hammered the new seal in with a block of wood and a small hammer, and then I've applied gasket maker to this side, and now we will just install that over the locate pins on the bottom, and we'll install 2 of the fasteners that can go on before the water pump. So there it is in place on there. We put one in. We're just going to tighten it until the gasket maker is squeezing out, and then we'll come back and torque everything down after an hour, and that's according to the installation instructions of the gasket maker. So we went ahead and went around and torqued everything kind of in an alternating pattern as much as we could to 22 foot-pounds. Did it go?
No. There we go.
There it went. It's kind of scary on these little guys. I think 22 is on the upper range for what these can do. But you'll want to verify before you choose what foot-pound to do. It was a little bit confusing in the booklet here. Water pump pulley is 17 to 20. Timing chain cover to block is supposed to be 15 to 22 on the 8mm bolts. There's that camshaft sprocket bolt, 40 to 51. Just having a little look at the squeeze out. Looks pretty good. With that all done, we went ahead and installed the heads on the engine and eventually filled it with coolant, made sure we didn't have any leaks around the timing area and around the water pump. But that was pretty much it for this installation. So I'll link below to the video where we actually torqued down these head bolts and installed the head gaskets in case you're interested. But I hope this was helpful in replacing your timing chain and water pump.